What's up? What's up, everybody? So, this whole day today, I thought it was Wednesday. And then I was texting an agent of mine. And I was like, she was telling me how many calls she had made. She's like, I'm at 900 calls. And I'm like, and it's only Wednesday. And she was like, it's Thursday. So, if you were also wondering, today is Thursday, which is great. We're one day closer to Friday. Woohoo! Not that that means anything for us in real estate because every day is a work day. But I just thought that was funny. Anyways, you guys, there's so many things happening, going on. Um, just lots of things swirling in my mind. And as I have been uh, just prepping and working and grinding really hard on a lot of things to help real estate agents, anything from what I do with the agents that are in my organization to the agents that I coach and train within my Hype Collective. I've had a lot of conversations recently that have just got my wheels turning about, what not only like what do real estate agents need in order to be successful. Been thinking really hard about that, but also like what's the type of person? And I'm not talking about personality type because there's lots of different personality types that can be successful in real estate and in any business. But what are some of the main things that somebody is going to need inside in order to, maximize or even have a chance of surviving in real estate? Because the stats are bleak, the stats are grim with the success rate in real estate. And 80 to 90%, depending on who you ask, of real estate agents either fail or get out of the industry in the first couple of years. And when I set out to coach and train and create a platform and teams for people to be a part of, in my mind, I'm like, I want to reduce that percentage. Because I don't believe that those 80 to 90% of agents that fail or get out of the industry, that all of them just didn't have what it took. Sure, sales is not for everybody, and that in real estate is sales. You have to, that is what it is. And sure, so some people don't make it. There is going to be fallout rate for that, just like anything else. But I'm like 80 to 90%. Like, I want to be somebody that reduces or contributes to making that percentage go down. I don't want the industry to have a 90% failure rate in real estate. And I think that the more value that you provide and the more opportunities you can give to people, you're going to get what you want in life tenfold. I think Zig Ziglar said, if you give and give, and the more that you give, the more that you're going to receive in return. And so, one of the things that I, try and help people do, is, and what I talk a lot about is having confidence in just who you are and what you have, and that you have value. And that's something that's really difficult. And just being honest and vulnerable. If someone isn't built with some internal, and it's two things. There's grit, and then there's also confidence and feeling valuable. And that's, to me, I can't give somebody internal confidence, especially, we're talking grown adults at this point. And it's really hard to coach confidence. Now, if we're talking about confidence in handling objections, confidence in showing up to a listing appointment prepared, I'm not talking that level. I'm talking just who you are. So if I were to give advice to somebody on, should they get into real estate or not, I used to be like, well, yes, real estate is awesome. It's changed my life. It's been one of the best decisions I've made in life is getting into real estate. But now that I've been in this and coached and trained a lot of agents and experienced a lot highs and lows for the past 13 years, my answer to everyone would not be, yes, you should get into it. It would be, well, do you have an internal spark in you? Is there something about you that wants to be successful, that is willing to push through the really hard times? Because real estate is difficult. It is not easy. Processes can be simple, and what you need to do can technically be simple and you can teach anyone to do it. But if you don't have personal grit, if you don't have personal confidence inside about who you are going to struggle immensely in this business. And so that's one thing, when I'm chatting with someone, whether they're joining a local team of mine, I've got local teams in Oregon, Washington, and Florida. That's a big thing that I look for is like, does somebody have that spark inside where that they know they can do hard things? And I know that might sound elementary, but it really is true. And if you struggle with that, and then we're all insecure about certain things. Oh, Pascal, I've been slacking on my last two classes to get licensed. Well, go for it. Here's your sign. Just get it done. It's the, I know when you're in it, it may not feel like the easiest hurdle, but it is just the first hurdle. And once you get past the licensing stuff, then the real work starts to happen. And, there's a lot of disappointment that happens in that first year or two in real estate, because usually when people start to get in there, oh, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to get to show homes. I'm going to get to help people. But what they don't realize is that, success can be very boring. Not having the success. It's the road to success. It's doing the right things consistently over and over and over again. And even when, it feels like it's not working, you have to keep going. Even when you get rejected more than you get accepted, you have to keep going. And so that's why it's so important to have grit and to have confidence as a base point to start. And because you're going to get way more rejection than you're going to get a yes from people. And so it's hard to sustain that, which is why that contributes to the reason why 80 to 90% of agents fail or get out of the industry within the first 2 years. So you're going to have a fighting chance if you're like, I'm going to be those one of the 10%, right? And you're confident in that. You got to go into it knowing the stats. It's not, talk about blind faith, and it's still important to know what the stats are. It doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh no, my chances are not good. No, you want to be the person that says, I'm going to survive out of what those stats are. I'm going to be different. The gift of gab, perfect. Well, that you have a leg up. If you have the gift of gab in real estate, then that definitely is helpful for sure. So, yes, if you have an external, personality or extroverted, that does help you. Does it mean that if you're introverted, you're not going to be successful in real estate? No, I know some really introverted agents, and they kill it because they're really consistent and they build good relationships with people and they're good one-on-one and all of that. So like I said, it's not so much a personality type or, different skill set type. It's more, it starts with that internal confidence, which is what I talk about a lot in, when I coach and train agents in the Hype Collective. So if you're like, Jen, what is this little graphic above you? The Hype Collective is my coaching membership that I have opened up to anyone licensed anywhere. You can be located anywhere on the globe and be a part of it. So I have my Hype Squad, which are the agents that are licensed within my organization, but then I also have the Hype Collective, which anyone can be a part of. So if you go to my profile link, you can check out all the things you get. But essentially, I do group coaching with everyone that's live every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and then I give you guys access to this vault, which is the screenshot that you're seeing behind me. Just a few snapshots of what's in there. Tons of different documents and systems and processes and courses and scripts, all the things. And then I also have a private area in my Discord channel where we can collaborate. The agents in the Hype Collective can pop in there any day, any time of the day, and collaborate with everyone that's in there. And the reason why I do those three aspects of the Hype Collective is because I believe in, coaching, having someone that's been there, done that, experienced. I also am currently in production. I know a lot of agents I talk to are like, the mentor that I had, like they've been so far removed from actually selling real estate. They haven't been in production for 4 years, 5 years. And so I just feel like they're a little out of touch with, what selling real estate is like today. And that's a common problem that a lot of agents, new agents, are experiencing. So I make sure that I stay in production. I've decreased it a lot, on purpose, because I want to focus on helping other real estate agents, but I still am in production so that I have a grasp on what's going on right now in real estate and in the world, and what the real, issues or gaps or, objections that people are having. So I believe in, having the coaching live, from somebody that is in the game and knows what it's like. And then that's why I also have the vault, which gives you the actual real physical tools, processes, the things that it takes to be successful, and the community, so that you have some built-in accountability, you have some people that you can relate with and talk to and lean on. And so all three of those aspects are I think super important, which is why I created it that way. So anyways, going back to just some of the conversations that I've had, and if you're trying to decide, is real estate for me, or maybe you're in it and you're like, man, I'm just struggling, or I'm not at where I thought I would be. I always tell people, start first with being really honest about yourself, and like, you got to know that you have value, and it's okay. We're all, like I said, we're all insecure about certain things, but find whatever that spark is that's in you, what makes you different or unique. And it doesn't have to be like you're the only person that possesses that thing, but what would be something that you're proud of, that you're like, okay, I'm gonna be the best. Like I know for me, what I leaned on in the very beginning was the fact that, like, I am very consistent. I am going to follow up better than anybody, in just even in this office. I'm going to be the person that follows up the most. I maybe not be the best scripter. I don't know, or I'm not the best salesperson. I don't have that naturally or whatever, but like, I can follow up. And sure enough, my first year of being full-time into selling real estate, I sold 50 deals. And it wasn't because I was the best salesperson, the traditional way of us thinking about that. It's because I followed up the best. And that notoriously, agents struggle with the follow-up aspect. And so I proved to myself that it doesn't matter what you start with. It doesn't matter, the tools, the systems, the processes, like all of those things. Like, yes, they matter, but what matters more is that you make a commitment and you follow through, and then you're consistent with that, regardless of what hurdles come your way, regardless of how many no's you get, regardless of how you feel that day. You have to have that grit, that confidence in yourself that, like, okay, I know these are the right things. Success leaves clues. I'm not just reinventing the wheel. I'm listening to people that have been successful in real estate, and I'm hanging around people that are successful in real estate, and I'm going to emulate those things. Success leaves clues. I know that if I follow up, regardless of my personality type, regardless of how many times I say no, I'm going to attract the people that want to work with me if I just stay consistent and do that. And so that's how I built my business. I was consistent with follow up, and I stayed top of mind with people. It's not some, magic sauce. I mean, I guess that is my magic sauce, is that I was consistent with all of that. But you can, pick the things that you're just naturally gifted at. Like, for example, Pascal, you said, you have the gift of gab. Perfect. Then lean in on that, and find as many people as you can possible to have conversations with, and, share your value, share who you are. They always, in the beginning, they tell you, don't be a silent agent. And that is one of the biggest mistakes that real estate agents make, is that they don't tell people, hey, I'm in real estate, I can help you with that. And just, finding a way to weave that into every conversation that you have. And not every person is going to be ready right then and there when you talk about them. But when you stay, top of mind for people, eventually when they are ready, if you did your job, you did your follow up, and you made sure that you were not a silent agent, then who are they going to think of? They're going to think of you. And I think the biggest thing that people don't realize is, like, I've probably, quote unquote, failed more in real estate than most people try. And that's where the grit comes in. That's where you have to be like, no matter what, even if, your Aunt Sally chose to work with a different agent than you, instead of being devastated about that, it's like, okay, well, what can I do differently? Like, how can I, show my value to even my family and friends? Like, you can't just expect that people are going to come to you. I just had a conversation, a couple weeks ago with an agent that was, like, well, I just thought the leads would come to me. I thought that I could make a social media post and be like, hey, everybody, all my friends and family, I'm in real estate, pick me now. And it just doesn't work that way. You have to prove your value even to the people that are closest to you. Especially when you're handling the largest investment of most people's lives. I mean, think about this. If you were to, someone was talking about this analogy the other day. If someone came to you and was like, I have $500,000 cash, and I want to, be advised on how to best invest this $500,000 cash that I have. You have to have like a major, like, you have to go to schooling for financial education, and, helping people with finances of that caliber, right? Well, in real estate, you have to have, high school diploma or GED and pass a real estate exam. And so, that's why I think coaching and training and surrounding yourself and making sure that you have people that are high integrity and that know what they're doing to be able to help you in people's largest investment in their lives. So like it's grit, it's consistency, it's confidence, and it is taking seriously, like, this is a business and you don't have a boss telling you what to do. You're not going to get, I mean, sure, you can, like, I provide plenty of here's an example of a realtor schedule. Here's an example of what you could do every single day to be successful. But at the end of the day, I'm not clocking you in. I'm not looking over your shoulder. I'm not going to fire you if you don't do your job. You're a 1099 or a 1099 independent contractor. And so a lot of agents come, especially from the W-2 world, and they're coming and they're like, well, I don't have as much direction as I thought I would have. Well, yeah, it's your business. You have to take ownership of that. You're the boss and you're the employee when you get started in real estate. And so you have to ask yourself when you wake up in the morning or at the end of the day and say, would I have fired me today based on my productivity? And get really honest with, is this the type of employee, like, am I the type of employee that I would hire? Got through. Oh my goodness. Okay, Jeremy, 3 more listings today. Hey, yo, on our way to 50 deals this year. Bet. Let's freaking go. You guys, if you want to get better at your scripts and you want to be better at sales and you want to be a listing agent, go follow Real Estate with Jeremy. He will shape you up real quick. Moving next year for 4 years, buy townhome or single family, might rent or sell after, undecided. Well, that depends on a few things. What area are you looking to buy in? RMAC, feel free to also, you can send me a DM or schedule a call with me. I have my Calendly link is in my profile, and there's a one of the calendars is for people that want to buy or sell real estate, and you can schedule a call. We can chat about that. Happy to advise you on that. I'm licensed in 3 different states, but I have agents that I coach and train all over the nation, so I can connect you with an awesome agent to help you do that. But if you're moving next year, we should chat about that. Let's see. Eastern Panhandle, moving for work, live in NorCal. Okay, sweet. Yeah, definitely schedule a call with me. We can chat more about that. I ask on area because it does depend on a lot of different factors, but would be happy to chat with you through that. But definitely, if the goal or the long-term goal is to have it rented out, I think some of the main things would just be, like with a townhouse, I would know, okay, what's the HOA? Are there any restrictions on having renters in there? And also, are you going to be short-term? Do you want to have it like Airbnb style short-term rentals or long-term? So just, making sure that if you do go the townhouse route, that there's no restrictions on rentals if that's the long-term goal. So definitely finding a good agent to make sure that they ask you all those questions. If you're licensed or if you're buying in one of the states that I'm in, happy to be your agent for that. And we can go over those things. But the biggest thing is focusing on ultimately what you want, what your long-term goal is with that property. And if it's to rent it out, let's say long-term, for example, making sure that it's in an area, and we can look up stats too that show, how many renter, like, is this an area that's highly rented? Are there certain jobs or, warehouses or whatever in that area, or hospitals, things like that. So we can check, and I would focus on the investor aspect of that when you're buying it. Yes, you want it to check boxes, that you can live in there temporarily, but the main thing is, is it a good place? And I think, townhomes and single family homes can be good for that. So we can chat more about what your personal situation is when you schedule a call. Real Estate with Jeremy says, I have an appointment for a 1.1 mil tomorrow, and she called me. I didn't have to call her. Heck yeah. Okay, I want to talk about this because, Jeremy, I want people to understand this. You might read that and then have this expectation that, oh yeah, so when I get into real estate, then, people should call me because I make a Facebook post or I post on TikTok or whatever. What you guys don't realize is that Jeremy, and I'm gonna tell you because you may not know this, but Jeremy, he will door knock, he cold calls like every single day. He prospects like his business depends on it because it does, right? And he posts on social media and he does the right things and he stays consistent. And he's been in real estate for a couple of years and he's been doing the right things. He joined the Hype Squad and increased his business like crazy, implementing the things that we're talking about, having the mindset, all the things. And so, yes, now at this point, from doing all of that, now he's reaping the rewards of people calling him because he's established a reputation in his area in real estate. And so I think what's really important is to call out, on social media. I work my arse off. Yes, you absolutely do. And what people don't realize is that on social media, you see people's highlight reel. You see when they've made it, but what you don't see is the iceberg underneath the water of all the work and the grit and the like all the things that it takes to get to that point of now people are calling me. And so I like to live in the real, in the reality world of, what it takes to actually get to that point for someone to call you and say, hey, come list me. So I think that's super important. And we obviously celebrate the wins and, love to see everyone succeed and all that. But I try and keep it real with you guys about what it takes to get to that point. What's up? It's Giving History. Hello, Armac. Can't wait to chat with you on all the things. But anyways, so circling back to, if you're going to start in real estate or you're going to, be a successful agent, then, starting with that confidence, that fire, that sauce that you've got, knowing that you have value to give, even if you don't know all the things, even if, sure, you might be insecure about some things, but having that internal drive and grit, that's definitely foundation number one. And then the two other things that are most important, and I've actually flip-flopped those two things of what's 1A and 1B, for the foundation of your real estate business. It's lead generation and lead follow-up. And I used to think that lead generation was a 1A and lead follow-up was 1B, but my position has flipped on that. So much so that I have I do a course once a month, or not a course, I do a Zoom webinar once a month for free. It's for any real estate agent. You guys can go check it out in my profile link. But the name of that is Follow Up is Forever. And I focus on that so much because you can have tons of leads. You could have, a database of thousands of people. You could have grown up in a particular area and know everybody in that town or in that city. But if you're not following up with people, then you don't have a business and you're not going to be consistently closing things. So I think follow-up is 1A and lead generation is 1B for the foundation of someone's business. So go check out Follow Up is Forever. It happens every third Tuesday of the month. And every month it is a different, I talk about something different that has to do with follow-up because it's so important. So it's top of the list on what you have to do and become good at. And what's really cool about it is that, to be honest with you, lead generation is more difficult than lead follow-up. But I think follow-up is more important because anyone can do that. It's not like follow-up can look like a phone call. It can look like an email. It can look like a video text. It can look like a social media post or a DM. Like follow-up can be all those, and all of us can do any of those things, right? But you have to make a decision to do it consistently. You have to have a system and a process if you want to be high level and you want to sell a lot of real estate. And so what I love about that is that the thing that's most important in your business, you don't have to necessarily have a new skill or go to school for it or do all this research on it. It's literally just picking up the phone. It's literally reaching out to somebody, and anyone can do that. So, so what I coach and train on is, number one, having people understand the importance of it. Like number one, like buying into the fact that like, if I don't do this, I'm not going to have a business. And then number two, how do I do that? And there's so many different ways to do it. Now, there are certain success principles around follow-up, of course, but there's lots of different ways because there are lots of different ways to sell real estate. So how I follow up with an open house lead looks different than following up with a lead that found me on social media. But I have systems for all of that. And all of those are located in this vault. And you guys can have access to that by joining the Hype Collective. And, the Hype Collective, it's coaching with me twice a month, a group coaching that's live. There's Q&A stuff. We talk about a ton of different things in there, but you get access to the actual tools and resources that help you do that through the vault. And then you also get the community within my Discord. Everyone in the Hype Collective can get on the virtual office that's in there and collaborate and hype each other up, celebrate your wins, talk about your struggles. You can send referrals to each other. So for me, having a community like that that has those three aspects, you've got the coaching with someone that knows what it's like. Not only, yes, have I had success in the past, but I currently also am in production to make sure that I have a pulse on what's going on. I'm not so far removed from selling real estate that I'm giving you old advice, right? I show up on, almost every platform or major platform on social media. I utilize ChatGPT at a high level. I talk with other industry experts and top producers. I've got a podcast. You guys can check that out. It's called The Hype Seat, and you can catch the replays on YouTube and Spotify. I've got a lineup, you guys. I've got eight podcast interviews in the next 2 months. So I am going to be a busy bee with all that. So stay tuned. Go subscribe either on YouTube or Spotify to check those out. They're going to be dropping every single week. So I'm really, really stoked about that. But just in talking about, oh wait, I also have a very delusional confidence. Absolutely, you have to. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Is like you've got to have some sort of like internal drive, internal confidence, knowing that you have value to give people, knowing that there's a spark in there, that it's just not going to give up. The only failure is quit. You're going to quote unquote fail so many times in real estate. You're going to have someone that tells you no way more than they're going to tell you yes. You're going to lose a deal. You're going to, whatever, fumble the script. You're going to do all of those things. Oh, yes. Wait, did I miss one of these? What did Natalie say? Yeah. So anyways, I just like really want to, I've got so much stuff swirling in my head because I've had so many conversations the last couple weeks, giving me really interesting perspective. And also too, like at the end of the day, just you got to get rid of your excuses and you have to get rid of your limiting beliefs and you have to be able to recognize what those are. I can always tell someone that I'm talking to that doesn't see they don't see like where their weak spots are. And like somebody that's, I will admit I'm a self proclaimed recovering people pleaser, and I know what my weaknesses are. And it doesn't mean that I, just because I know them, that I've all of a sudden just fixed them like that. But it's stuff that I actively work on and I actively address those things and push myself to get better. And there's no one, when you're your own business owner, when you're a 1099 independent contractor, unless you're in a community like the Hype Collective, you're around somebody, and people that are willing to be really rough, raw, honest with you, which that's what the type of culture that I'm trying to create. And that includes me being able to be like, have constructive criticism and take feedback from people. You got to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're going to shut down and you're going to miss opportunities. Just like you as an agent need to be able to not be afraid to ask your clients for feedback. You lost the listing because you competed with other agents and they didn't pick you. Perfect. Pick up the freaking phone, call that seller and say, hey, I'm always trying to get better. Can you share with me, why I wasn't picked? I'm, no hard feelings whatsoever. I genuinely want to know what that difference was, because I'm always trying to look better. I mean, of course, always trying to look better, but like do better, be better, so that I don't make those same mistakes, or I do things differently next time. So that's something that having self-awareness is super important in real estate, and understanding and not focusing on your weaknesses or whatever, being overly apologetic about them, but just having an awareness of that. And if it's something that, oh, I'm getting a phone call from my admin team. One moment. Yes, girl. No, they might be able to slightly hear you. Aw, what's up? Why? What happened? What? What happened? Yes. Mm-hmm. No way. I just got chills. Oh my, how in the world did that happen? I'm not saying I know, yeah, I won't say anything. Oh, that's amazing. You deserve that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Oh. Lock yourself in your home. You're not going anywhere until then. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. They're in P-Town? No way. Oh, speaking of sweethearts, oh my gosh. That is amazing. Oh, uh-huh, uh-huh. I'm so glad I was there. Oh, that's insane. Oh my gosh. Well, so freaking deserving. Oh my gosh. Yay. Yeah, that is nuts. Mhm. Oh my gosh, what a freaking champ. That's amazing. Ugh. Well, that's the best news ever. Like, literally top 3 moments. That's freaking so cool. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's freaking awesome. I'm so glad for you. Well, thank you. It's okay. It's alright. This is really important. Oh, I know. I'm glad I was there because now I, like, really know the impact. Mhm. Hmm. Ugh, well, I'm so, so happy for you. Ugh, that makes me really, really happy to hear. No, it's really not. It's really not when you know the backstory. Hmm, I feel that, and this makes me really, really happy. Yay. Okay, well, I am gonna carry that excitement and happiness into literally the rest of this week. Let's do that. Yeah, into this live. Oh, freaking amazing. I got chills the second you told me. Yeah, I'm, like, stoked for you. Mhm. I know. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Oh, that's so freaking cool. Dreams can come true. Mhm. Mhm. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm like, wish I could be there. You didn't even imagine it because you thought it wouldn't yeah, it's like it wasn't even like yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Everyone's like, "What's going on?" Like DMT status. Everyone is staying on live because 'cause they're like, "We have to know." But they won't. I know, what else can you do? I know, I know, seriously. I'm really excited for you. Oh, so well deserved. It's not, it's really not. Not at all, like no, your happiness is literally contagious, like like, when you're happy, it's, like, making everyone happy. I hope everyone in this live is like, "I'm happy too." That's a good question. I don't know if I can even recall having tears of joy other than, like, obviously my kids being born, but, like, tears of joy over something other than that, like, I couldn't even recall. I'm so excited for you. Oh, it's all good. It is all good. Everyone's living vicariously right now. I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, I'm so glad you called me. Me too. I'm gonna be, taking this joy. Yes, I'm doing it. I need that. I am too. I'm gonna listen to them tonight. Mhm. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited. It's amazing. Oh my how did he get them? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, I love you too. You really don't. I think we're safe. Okay, yes, I will. I'm gonna have to tell them something at this point. It was a whole thing. That I do remember. I know my memory's bad, that I cannot forget. Oh, I wish I could go. Okay, well, ugh. Carry forth. Me too. This is honestly, it's all worth it. Anything's possible. This is very true. Mhm, mhm. Love you, bye. Oh my gosh, okay, so those of you who stuck around, you're like, "What is going on?" Okay, so my bestie just had something happen to her that, like, literally is impossible or, like, was thought to be possible, like, it's a dream that, like, wasn't even a thing because I'll give you some tea. I cannot share because like, it's very personal to her, but there's a very, very meaningful, band that, broke up a long, long time ago. It was literally yeah, it'd be like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy here. Maybe you could help me out, Stylish Bear, of like, I don't know, imagining that I could be in the WNBA, like because I was like on AAU in high school and like, like that's like I'm not going to be in the WNBA. Kind of a dream, and it happened for her. She's going to see this, you know, this band, and it has a lot of personal meaning. And I know you're like, what are you saying? This doesn't make sense. Just know that she has enough joy. For all of us, all of you that are watching, this person just experienced enough joy for to literally carry us at least for a few days, maybe the next week. Okay. So just imagine pure, wholesome joy and like tears of joy. Someone was just crying about something that an opportunity she's going to be able to do, and how awesome it is that I get to be a part of it because I'm friends with this person and care very much about this person. And when you get to experience somebody's joy or success or like win, it's like the coolest thing. My favorite thing when the agents that I coach, that they will text me or they'll call me like, Jen, I just closed my first $1 million deal, or I just got my first listing, or whatever, like whatever it might be, whatever level, that like I use that as fuel to keep going, right? We're all human. We all have crappy things that happen in our lives, and life is what it is, but like that that means a lot to me. So those of you who are in here right now watching and you're like, oh, should I tell Jen about this win? Yes. Every time, yes. I want to hear about those things. I love hearing about it every single time. And I need that. I need that fuel myself. I'm only a human, and appreciate and love to celebrate people's wins. Like when you're doing really good things, like it's not woo woo stuff. Like that's why it's important to be a part of a community of people that aren't jealous of you or don't like see you as competition or whatever, but having a community of collaboration and actually genuinely caring about people. Like you can be successful and also be kind. You can be successful and care about others. You can be successful and celebrate when other people win and have good things. There is enough real estate to go around for everyone who wants to be in this business. And when you operate out of that kind of a mindset, you're probably going to go a lot farther than the people who don't have that mindset. So you would start to get annoyed with my phone calls because I'm always winning. Jeremy, bet. But no, even yours. Maybe just like text me your wins, okay, and call me on the big ones. No, but seriously, you guys, it's so much fun to be able to celebrate with you guys. That just hearing the wins is freaking awesome. Whether you're in the Hype Collective or not, it is cool to see that, because it's a small family of real estate agents, even globally, even in this nation. Like it's still a small family. It's a small world, and when you treat others kindly and you celebrate the wins, whether they're with you or not, I think you're just going to be happier in general. So circling back, lots of good things. This week has been a freaking roller coaster. Anybody else? I'm just a little bit in my thoughts and in my feels this week because I've had all sorts of conversations, up, down, highs and lows, all the things. But ultimately, what I was talking about earlier of just having that internal drive and confidence and grit, the spark, the sauce, all of that matters. And that's, to be honest, really the foundation of being successful. And, They say this about kids, but I think this is also true to business that, the days are long, the years are short. And it's true. Our days, our day-to-day life and business, and the things that we have to do to be successful can just feel dragging. I mean, all of us wake up sometimes and are just like, "Ugh, I don't want to make one more phone call. I don't want to film social media content, like, whatever." But like, just keep freaking going, because it's usually, we grow the most in the hard times. Like, if your life was just cake and nothing bad ever happened, like, you're not going to have much growth. You've got to have, like, so if there's a lot of struggle in your life, if there's a lot of, setbacks, well, good. At least you're going to have a story that when you're on stage or when you close that $1 million deal or whatever, like, that, like, you earned it, you fought for it. It wasn't just handed to you. Like, when agents come to me in, a desperation mode of like, I have to make this work. This is my only option. There is no option B. This is what I have to do. I'm like, I love that. I can work with that, because frustration or desperation forces change. It forces something different to happen. You're either going to, like, when agents come to me and they're like, Jen, if I don't close a deal in the next 30 days, 60 days, whatever, then like, I'm going to have to go get, a 9 to 5 job. I'm like, okay, let's freaking go then. Let's actually make stuff happen and not just sit in, no man's land of, oh, like, I kind of want to do it, I kind of don't, or like, oh, but I just don't feel like, screw your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. It doesn't mean, like, and trust me, I'm an empath. I'm a people pleaser. Like, I'm not saying your feelings don't matter, but they don't if you want to be successful and you want to be able to be proud when you wake up and say, I built something that I didn't give up on, and that I know and I knew that I could do. And I'm proud to say that I stuck with it and I did the right things. I made changes when I needed to. And now here I am. Like, that is the story that you can have. Any agent, any person can have that story, but it's up to you. You have to take full responsibility for your life, where you're at in life. And yes, okay, take some time to assess the past, take some time to assess, okay, what things aren't working, what did I not do good at, and then improve on them. Like, spend more time forward thinking, right? You have a rear view mirror that's this big and you have a windshield that's this big. Why? Because you need to focus forward most of the time. Occasionally you glance in the rear view, occasionally you look at your side mirrors and you look at the next lane, but your main job when you're moving forward in life, when you're driving, you are the driver in your life, is to look forward. And that is a really great analogy about what you need to do in real estate. It's like, okay, did you not sell any real estate this past year? Okay, that's rear view mirror stats. Like, I don't care that you didn't sell any real estate last year. What are you doing now? What are you doing now that's going to have an impact in a year from now? And like, who is guiding you? Who's directing you? Who are you hanging out with that also has that philosophy of my windshield is 10 times larger than my rear view mirror? I actually want to know the stats on that. Does anyone know that the ratio of your windshield versus your rear view? I would love to know that stat. It'd be really cute to say. Anyways, but if you are in a position and you find yourself, and pay attention to the conversations that you have with others and the conversation that you have in your mind, and if what you think about is way more in the past, you got to change your perspective. If you want to be successful, if you want to be in a different place in a year from now than you are today, then focus on the windshield and what's out in front of you, not what's behind you. Yes, like I said, you glance sometimes. It's good to assess and reflect, but that's not like, when everyone in January, we got our goal planning or whatever, right? What are you thinking about? You're thinking about what I want to accomplish this next year. You don't think about, like, yes, there is like, good business people assess what happened last year, what went well, what didn't. This didn't go well. Okay, perfect. We're going to do this instead, in addition to all the things that did go well. Okay, boom, we move forward with that. We don't stay stuck in the past. You don't stay, down on yourself. Like, enough of this self-deprecating and limiting belief stuff, like, oh, well, but Jen, but you don't understand, Jen, I have this in my past. You don't understand, Jen, I've failed 90% of the time, or I've screwed up this and this. Who cares? Like, that doesn't matter. Do you know that when a company now, in today, when a company forecasts whether or not they are going to invest in a company, they don't look at past history. They look at what it could be. Amazon, perfect example, right? That guy was bankrupt. That company was making, they were in the negative. But when they saw what the potential was in that business, that's when, oh, that is what it's giving history. I know you're live. Should I have answered your call? I just, if you need to talk with me while I'm alive, I will answer the call if you call me again. um, but start focusing on your potential, not what you did in the past. And when you start focusing on your potential, oh, he's like, yes, you do need to answer my call. Yes. Oh my gosh. See, hell yeah. Get yourself a team that literally does what you ask right then and there. What you said, 97 to 1, 96 to 1. Hell yeah. Okay. And so the other 3% of your side mirrors or other, yes. Okay. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jer. I appreciate you. All right. Thanks. Bye. Okay, hell yeah. You guys, listen. Okay, this is the type of team that we have with the Hype Collective. Remember 2 minutes ago when I was like, I would love to know the stats on that. What's the ratio of how much you should be looking in your windshield versus the rear view and the side mirrors? I have the stats now because I have a freaking amazing team. It's 96 to 1. Okay. 96% of the time, you should be looking at your windshield. 1% of the time, you should be looking in the rear view. The other 3% of the time, you're looking in the side mirrors. Okay. There you freaking go. Take that as your analogy for life. 96% of your energy and effort should be looking forward. Take 1% of the time to look in the back, 3% of your time to look in your side view. What are other people doing? Should I take some ideas here and there, not to compare, but to be like, okay, what they're doing, I like that. Okay, now I'm gonna focus all of that into 96% of the time looking forward. Freaking love it, freaking fantastic. Anyways, so what you should be doing is what top companies are doing when they're assessing businesses. It's not what have they done in the past. That's back in like the 80s and 90s. That's how companies would determine whether or not they invested in a company. Is are they in the green? Are they have they been successful? Now investment companies look at what is the potential of a company, and that's how you should think. If top companies and businesses are deciding to make giant investments into companies with what their potential is, you should probably be doing that too, because you are a business if you're in real estate, and that's how you should be looking at it. What is the potential here? And you guys, the top 1% of real estate agents sell the 99% of the real estate. Okay. So there is plenty of opportunity in real estate. There are plenty of people that are operating in, a way that's not what I'm talking about. They're spending 96% of the time looking back and using all of that energy and effort to determine or think that like that's what it was like last year. That's how it's going to be this year. So yeah, of course you're going to give up if your mindset on the last year I haven't sold anything, or only sold a couple, whatever, so I can't keep going on like that. Well, you got to stop thinking about that and start thinking about the potential that you have. What could I do differently? What is somebody that I respect, what are they doing? How can I emulate that? How would a top producer act? How would they think? What would they do? What kind of mindset would they have? What kind of podcasts do they listen to? What kind of books do they read? And start being that person. You don't have to be an expert in something to act like one. Like I don't have to have a neuroscience degree to go listen to neuroscientists and learn that field or that industry. It's the same thing for real estate. And what's cool about real estate is you can listen to just success leaves clues, you guys. Like, I love listening to people that have reached success in all different business aspects and areas and industries, because what I notice is that people at the top, or who you see are at the top, they speak similarly. They don't necessarily have the same personality types. It's not about that. It's like, what did they do? Do they have grit? Yeah, freaking all of them had grit. And none of them talk about excuses or like, oh, well, but like this happened or but that happened. No, most of them are like, yeah, I had a really crappy childhood, or like I had a business partner that totally royally screwed me over or bankrupted me, or like what, like usually people at the top have way bigger problems and issues than a lot of us have, and they survived in spite of all of that. And so you got to start thinking whatever, and everything's relative, right? This is not a comparing trauma thing. This is not a comparing problems thing. It's a everyone has their own things in their own life, and there are people who have had it worse than you, people who have had it better than you, and there are people in all of those lanes that have survived and done the thing. And in real estate, you like there are it just in my brokerage alone, there's 100,000 agents globally. There's millions of real estate agents. There's got to be somebody that started with what you started with and has a similar background as you, similar setbacks, that made it, that did it, and actually achieved it in spite of all of that stuff. So if you're focusing on all the things in your past, or you're focusing on, all the obstacles that you've got in your way, whatever, like, of course it's going to be hard. Of course, it's like, you have to figure out how to look through that windshield 96% of the time. Jeremy said, I literally had a broker that tried to bury me, and now I'm top in the area. Freaking fantastic. Even when there is an agent that owns a certain area, right? Owns an area, like, you can break through that. You can go in a different lane and grab market share. And again, like, you can both be top eight. Like, it doesn't mean that agent, that's your competition or whatever, needs to decrease or needs to fail. Like, there is enough real estate to go around for anyone in any area. I don't care what your price point is. I don't care how many homes are for sale. Like, if you look in every area, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money. I've looked at a lot of different areas, but I'd be willing to bet that in every area, there are a top handful, obviously relative to the amount, how big the state is, whatever, but there's probably a handful of agents at the top that's got a giant share of the market. And that's usually how it is. So you can decide to be that person. You can decide to be that agent who acts that way. And just because you don't have the results in the past doesn't mean you can't start acting like the agent that you aspire to be. You can always be like that. What's his name? Matthew McConaughey. He was asked, like, I think it was at a graduation speech, and he talked about how someone asked him, like, who's your biggest inspiration, or who's your hero or whatever, and he goes, my hero is me in 5 years, or me in 10 years. And he's like, I want to look back, in 10 years from now, and be the hero that I imagined or envisioned, to be the inspiration of who I was 10 years ago. And that I think encapsulates everything, that what I'm talking about is that you just have to make the decision that you are going to be the person that does the thing. You're going to be the person, whatever your goal is, whatever you're going after, whatever your definition of success is. Well, what does that person do? What does that person think? And so if you're filling your mind with garbage, and that could be garbage from you, just like your internal monologue, that could be garbage of what you're listening to. It could be garbage of the relationships that you have, whatever that is. If it's important to you to be successful, whatever that looks like for you, then you've got to change up what it is that's going in. And so are you your worst enemy, or is your environment the worst enemy, or is it the people that you hang out with? That is why the people in the Hype Collective, those are the types of people that we've got, which is why I'm so confident. And yes, the coaching that I do, yes, the experience that I've had, yes, all of the tools and resources that I provide, and the community and the people that want to be around those types of agents, those types of business owners, those types of thinkers. And so that's what I invite. That's why I opened this up. That's why I created the Hype Collective, so that you can be licensed anywhere. I wanted to create that barrier to entry. Like, yes, if you want to be a part of the Hype Squad and my organization, be licensed here, that's an option. But everyone's got their own story, their own thing. And so the Hype Collective is really for agents anywhere. I didn't want to create any other, limitations or boundaries for people. So if you want to be a part of the Hype, you can be now. So you can check out my profile link. You can go see all the things that you get or in there, and all of the things. But essentially what it is group coaching with me live. And because I'm still in production, I know what's going on. I know what your guys' pain points are. I know the objections that you're getting. I've been around the block, and I am currently in production myself as well, so that I can make sure that I stay relevant, that I know what's actually happening. And I have confidence, yes, in the past and like what I've accomplished, but also in what I'm doing right now. I was just telling somebody the other day, like, I was being interviewed for this magazine for real estate, and they asked me, what's maybe a highlight of your career, or something, like a major milestone. And I thought about that, and I'm like, gosh, 13 years. And I was like, you know what? Actually, one of my biggest highlights is actually recent, in this past year. I moved my entire family from Oregon, where both my husband and I, our whole family, born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, our friends, our family, our community, everything in there. We picked up our whole family, moved to Florida, knowing one family. And once I got licensed here, In 4 months, I had a team of 4 agents, I had a lender partner, I had a title partner, and I had a closing. And I'm like, one of the biggest highlights for me, like, yeah, sure, there's lots of success. I mean, the first one I should have thought of is I sold 50 homes in my first year, but even more than that, like, was the fact that I started from scratch. I can relate with a new agent or an agent who had to move, pick up their entire business that they've created and start over from scratch. That's literally what I'm doing right now. And so it was that was top of mind for me over the stat in the past of selling 50 homes my first year. But the thing that stuck out to me the most was I'm literally in the trenches with all of you that might be newbies, or maybe you're a couple years in, and I'm literally doing the things that I coach my agents to do about how do you start over or how do you just get started. I'm literally doing right now. So now I have much more empathy. I'm like, man, this is hard to start all over, to get, like, I had to study all over for the national and the state portion. I had to go take a test as if I was a new agent and do all of that. And did I do it kicking and screaming? Absolutely. But I'm like, bet your booty I'm going to study just enough to pass this freaking test. So it's about making a decision and just burning the boats. We talk about this on our squad. Stylish Bear, she's like, burn the boats, burn the bridges. No excuses. Like, just make this work. Don't have a plan B. Don't give yourself an out. Just freaking do it. Nike, baby, said it best. But it really is that. And it's not woo woo. I'm not candy coating it and saying that it's easy. It's not. Like, there's been a lot of struggle in moving my family across the nation where we know no one. Not only like do we know no one and like in our personal life and moving our kids and all of that and dealing with all of those changes, but also like in business while also coaching people, while also training people, while also selling real estate, while also starting a team and all of those things. Like, that is not easy. Okay. And what you're going through may not be easy, but your determination and drive and what you want has to be stronger than the struggle. It has to be stronger than the roadblocks. It has to be stronger than your limiting beliefs. You have to just make that decision. And if you want to make it a little easier on yourself, then join the Hype Collective, because this is the type of stuff that we talk about. Yes, we talk about the nuts and bolts. Yes, we talk about systems and processes and follow up and all of that. But when we're in community and we're in the Discord channel and like we're doing life together, we are helping each other through struggles. Like, this is not everyone's a top producer and everyone has it all figured out and we're just, hanging out, kicking back, having cocktails or whatever, water, and just talking about how awesome we are. Like, no, this is real life. There are struggles all the time. And it's like every checkpoint you hit along the road to success, there's just new problems. Like, the person out here selling 24 homes has just as many problems as the person selling 2 homes a year. They just have different problems. Okay. It's like more money, more problems. Like, there. And also, by the way, your limiting beliefs and your the things that you struggle with or that you're insecure about, those don't necessarily go away. Like, you may gain confidence in one area, but then you're going to have a lack, or you're going to have a limiting belief around, like, when you get to that next stage about the next place that you're trying to go. So if you're waiting to feel a certain way, if you're waiting to feel ready, if you're waiting to, I don't know, hit a certain milestone, and then you think that like your problems are going to disappear or your confidence issues are going to go away, newsflash, they're not. You're just going to have new ones, or it's going to be even deeper than you ever thought it was going to be once you hit a certain point. And I can tell you that by being a very social person in the sense of like, you guys are seeing a lot. I go live all the time. This is raw. Like, I don't have a script in front of me. I didn't plan what I was going to say or like whatever, but I am out there. Okay. Like, and I am doing things and I'm sharing like, hey, this is what's going on. This is how I'm building this. This is how I'm building that. This is where I went wrong. These are all the ways that I failed. Like, I am like publicly out there. So I can relate and understand that, it's hard to put yourself out there, and it's difficult to be vulnerable. And that's one of the things I struggle with the most. But what I find is that when I'm vulnerable with people, and when I truly am just like honest with what's hard or where I'm at or whatever, that actually is what builds connection, and that's what builds trust, and ultimately helps you be more successful. Like, and that's, I want you guys to take that and implement that with your clients. And I'm not talking about like being weird and, like sharing things that don't make sense, but just people want to work with people that they know, that they like, that they trust. Like, can I trust you? And when you're able to be vulnerable to people. And you know what a really safe space is? The Hype Collective, the agents that are going through the same things that you are. And it's a place that you can come and do that. And you don't have to worry about someone being, jealous of you, or trying to compete with you or whatever. We're from all over the place. So it is one of the safest areas to be able to collaborate, the safest areas to be like, hey, I'm really struggling with this. I need help with this. People will hop in. I see it every single day. There will be people. All you have to do, though, you have to be willing to raise your hand. You have to be willing to open up the heart just a little bit in order to let us know. Let me know, like, what are you struggling with? And when you do that, you'll find a flood of people in the Hype Collective will come running and be like, yes, I went through that same thing too. This is what I did to get myself out of that. This is what I did to overcome that objection that I kept getting, defeated on, or whatever that is. When we set out to create this and to create the Hype Collective, the Hype Squad, and everything that we've got, one thing that myself and marketing we're like, we want it to be a collaborative space where people are free to be who they are, more of who they are, and a place where we don't have to have it all figured out, but they're going to have the support, and they're going to have genuine people who don't just pretend or say something because it sounds good, or they just want to look good, and so they're going to create this facade. No, like, we want the real, the raw, the honest. And we also have grit. We also push each other. We also call each other out when, we're stuck in our limiting beliefs, we're stuck in our excuses and all of those things. So that's the real, that's the raw, that's the honest, that's the type of people that I want in my space, right? We want to be a flavor for everyone. Speaking of my favorite people, hello. How are you? How was your day? Oh my goodness, Spider-Man. I didn't see you there. Hi, pumpkins. Hello. I missed you today. Hi. It's so good to see you.
Daddy's here.
Daddy's here. It's good to see you. That'll never get old. I freaking love it. Yes, my babies. And that's what we do, you guys. We work so that we can live. We don't live to work. And D-Rad, what's up? Hello. Happy to have you. Oh, you guys, by the way, go follow David Radney. I'm going to be interviewing him next Wednesday. It's going to be live. I think, what time is it at? 2 p.m. Eastern. 2 p.m. Eastern, David Radney. Go follow him. He is freaking awesome. Love that guy. Cannot wait to chat with him. You will not be disappointed with what all of the information that D-Red has to share with you guys. Really excited to have a conversation with him. So make sure, turn your notifications on. Next Wednesday, 2:00 Eastern, I will be interviewing this icon. So go follow him. Go make sure that you don't miss that. So anyways, my babies are home. I must be going. I must go give them more squeezes and hugs because they're the best ever. So hope you guys have a phenomenal Thursday. Hope, you got a little nugget or two out of me rambling on and on. Love ya. Also, just to recap a few things, if you want to get connected, if you want the Hype Collective is there for you. You can go to my profile link, check that out, get all the things. You can DM me with any questions. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can go subscribe on like YouTube, Spotify when I do all my interviews with people. You guys, I have a jam-packed, my list of people that I'm interviewing, I am freaking stoked about. I've got 8 people lined up in the next 2 months. Pretty much next week, I've got 3 interviews. I'm interviewing 2 people and I'm on a podcast next week. So I've got those coming up. And just an amazing lineup. So do not miss those. It's going to help you guys in your real estate career, and lots of takeaways from those things. So really excited to prep for those and to release those to you guys. So go check that out. Also, Follow Up is Forever. It's my free Zoom webinar that I host every single month. I go through different topics and different ways to help you improve your follow-up skills and strategies and systems. So go check that out. That's also in the profile link. Tons of information for you guys there. I want to help. I love the real estate industry. I love helping agents. That's my heart. So I put as much stuff out there that I can possible for you guys. So go check all those things out. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always schedule a call with me as well. If you're in real estate or thinking about getting into real estate, or you want to invest in real estate, buy real estate, like whatever it is. If I'm not in your area, I know amazing agents who are. So love ya. Stay high. Bye.